5,000 youth between the ages 15 and 24.
Magistrates and judges unhappy about delays in allowances and other working conditions.
Also coming up, farmers in the Upper East region optimistic of bumper harvest as spillage of Bagri Dam is put on hold.
Geologist becomes Tunisia's first prime minister.
And of course, those were the news headlines sponsored by Munchie Biscuits. Munch into happiness. Many thanks for choosing us here at GBC News. We're also coming to you live on DTV. We're streaming live on our website at www.gbcghanaonline.com, and on social media we are on YouTube and on Facebook as well, and it's the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation's pages on these platforms. My name is Abdul Hayi Mumin.
My name is Clara Milano. Jonathan Robert Frimpong Manso will translate the news into sign language. And we start with a health segment brought to you by Ernest Chemist. Abdul.
The Ghana AIDS Commission says the infections among young people pose a big threat to Ghana's fight against the HIV/AIDS scourge.
Figures from the Ghana AIDS Commission revealed that out of the 18,928 new HIV infections in 2020, a total of 5,211 are young people between the ages of 15 and 24.
HIV and AIDS scourge by 2030 is under serious threat due to high new infections among young people between the ages of 15 and 24. Over 5,000 15 to 24-year-olds were infected in 2020. This figure represents 28% of all new infections in the year under review. Of the number, 4,325, representing 83%, are females, while 8,806, representing 17%, are males. Adults of 25 years and above constitute 10,032, representing 53%. Similarly, the total number of new infections of children between ages 0 to 14, mother-to-child transmission, was 3,596, representing 19%. The total HIV population in the country as at the end of 2020 stands at 346,120, and the prevalence rate is 1.68%. In an earlier Zoom discussion with the program's manager for the National HIV/STI Control Program, Dr. Stephen A.C. Addo admitted that HIV is still a threat to national development, even though it has assumed a positive face. He said the fundamental principles have been lost over the time because people are becoming complacent due to treatment.
We have resources between now 2023 to be able to do that. But we don't have resources for the other components, because you cannot only be putting people on treatment. You should prevent people from getting infected. So the advocacy, the prevention, injection of resources in education is key. If we are able to do that, then I would say it's realistic. I mean, we need to find additional domestic resources apart from what we're getting from donors and all that, to make sure that we're able to cover all areas. If we do that, it's very, very realistic. But if we don't do that, even the progress we have made, we are likely to slag behind. And I can tell you that HIV remains a threat to our national development.
He called on the government to reinforce all their interventions.
And in other health news, which is brought to us courtesy Ernest Chemist, magnesium in cocoa supports the muscle tone of the heart and assists in controlling blood pressure and diabetes. Also, the antioxidant property in cocoa reduces blood pressure, improves blood circulation, and lowers death rates from heart diseases. As Ghana joins the rest of the world to celebrate this year's World Heart Day, health experts are recommending a daily consumption of natural cocoa and dark chocolate as a cardioprotective diet.
Heart Day is celebrated every 29th September to draw people's attention to heart illnesses. The day is used to encourage change in lifestyle and other ways to avoid cardiovascular conditions such as heart attack, heart failure and stroke. On the average, more than 17 million people worldwide die from heart-related illnesses every year. This is more than the number of people who die from HIV/AIDS, malaria and cancer. World Heart Day was launched in 2000 by the World Heart Federation as an annual event. Both governmental and non-governmental organizations across the globe celebrate this day with various activities. In Tema, the day was celebrated with the Cocoa Processing Company and the National Cardiovascular Center to promote healthy lifestyle and cardioprotective foods like cocoa and cocoa products. Cocoa is said to contain polyphenols that provide several health benefits. Cocoa, both in powder form and dark chocolate, is able to help lower blood pressure. The antioxidant properties in natural cocoa has also been identified as helping the body's cells to resist damage caused by inadequate oxidants in the body. Health experts say theobromine, which relaxes the smooth muscles of the bronchi in the lung, is found in natural cocoa. A senior medical officer at the National Cardiovascular Center, Dr. Florence Akumia, said a lot of young people are reporting to the cardio center with heart-related diseases and advised that people take in more cardioprotective diet.
We have what we call a cardioprotective diet. It doesn't require fancy foods or expensive foods, but you need to check the proportions of the various macronutrients you take. So moderate carbohydrate intake, moderate protein intake, more of the vegetables and the fruits, and less of the fats, and even the type of fats that you would use.
The chief pharmacist at Cocoa Clinic, Dr. Edward Ampofu, said natural cocoa also promotes general well-being and boosts the immune system.
What we need to do is to try as much as possible, not even try, we should make it a point, a policy, to consume cocoa day and night to safeguard our health, right from the top of our head to our toes, because every part of your body which can be affected by disease to a large extent can be prevented by regular consumption of the polyphenol-rich cocoa, okay? Either in the powder form or in the concentrated form in the chocolates that has a minimum percentage of 70% of the cocoa solids.
The head of marketing at the Cocoa Processing Company, Nana Jiman Anson, said the company is ensuring that more of the natural royal cocoa powder and dark chocolate is made available at an affordable price. There was a march through some principal streets where cocoa products were given out for free and blood pressure checks was also done for free.
It's news here on GBC News. Health News is sponsored by Ernest Chemist. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll tell you more about what's happening within the health sector in the country.
Good morning. It's a good morning and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votras at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant
or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
with a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV breakfast.
Star of Ghana, Nkrumah, Star of Ghana, everybody toils of the brave, and the sweat of their labors, toils.
Good morning. It's a good morning and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votras at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant
or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
Welcome back. Farmers along the White Volta in the Upper East region, particularly those in the Boko West districts, now have a cause to be happy. This follows a decision by Sanobil, managers of the Bagri and Kompianga dams in Burkina Faso, not to spill the excess water in the dams this year. The routine spilling of the dams have been a headache for the farmers since it destroys their farm's property and displaces the indigents.
A visit to the farmlands along the White Volta in the Boko West district of the Upper East region revealed that farmers in the area are expecting a bumper harvest. Most of the farmers were done with harvesting, while a few others were seen harvesting maize. The farmers who spoke with GBC News were full of joy for recording bumper harvest this year. Mr. Azure, who was seen spraying his watermelon farm, appealed to government to provide them with subsidized fertilizers and improved seeds.
Over there to fertilizer back. Unto to bottle back or engagement. This lab say no fertilizer and a bone coffin. No pem worker and farm boy bushia. The intimate man.
Another farmer, Mr. Ayamba Muni, gave good reasons why they have not heeded to the government's warning not to farm close to the river. Some farmers in Yarago, Gogo and Nafkolugu, who spoke with GBC News off camera, were not happy the excess water in the Bagri and Kompianga dams were not spilled this year. According to them, the spillage normally makes farmlands along the White Volta fertile. Well, in other news, farmers across the country are appealing to the government to make grants available to them to improve on their farming for better yields. For the farmers, this is the only way to attract the youth. At the launch of the 37th National Farmers and Fishers Awards, the farmers complained of what they termed their non-involvement in the organization of the Farmers' Day. They say they had no input in the event's organization whatsoever.
This is an annual event to say Aiko to the Ghanaian farmer for their contribution to the food basket. The plan is to launch the event a few months to the event day to open up for sponsorship for the various categories. The Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owuswe Kuto, said the event is a national obligation and corporate Ghana must lend a hand to appreciate the contributions of the farmers and fishers to national development.
I wish to see the opportunity to make a special appeal to other financial institutions, the private sector companies, groups, well-meaning and patriotic Ghanaians to come aboard to support this year's celebration.
The chairman of the Council of State, Nana Oto-Toribo, said the farming sector is inundated with challenges and the government must direct resources to expand agricultural infrastructure to efficiently implement government policies in the sector.
Critically, government must support farmers and indeed scale up the provision of inputs such as seeds and fertilizer for increased food production in order to build a more robust food security system capable of standing the test of time.
Some of the farmers at the launch were not happy about the entire organization of the event. They are also calling for more financial support beyond the awards.
Farmers' Day is not for politicians. Farmers' Day is for we, the farmers. So if it is being organized this way, which the farmers themselves are not even involved, ask the planning committee how many farmers are on the board. Ask them. The premise full and the rest. Ask them who's on the board. Nothing. It is only people that we don't know them, ghost people that they are in. That is why I'm saying that they need to dissolve the board. Watch around. Apart from the award winners, do we have the peasant farmers here? We don't have them. Do we have the Ghana National Association of Farmers and Fishermen? We don't even have them. Do you get it? So it's like, what are we doing? And whom are we doing this for?
As I say, nobody won't be abandoning any because he started award no 37 years now. But if I say, abandoning this any 37 no, abandon in a bar. Abisa says, Sanipa 27 or Munya Ghana National Best Farmer. Me here, mommy, person, me boy, abandon in a bar, abesa. And he catch up and says, have $5 million, no $100,000 in Israel.
Even farmers don't need loan. What we need is grant. Because Minister Kasano, Deputy Minister Kasano, Fusi Kasano, Omunyinasi, yes, Kasa Ghana, yes, Cocoa, yes, Ghana. Yes, Chiba, this year schools, Yaquina, free Quiamu. And the Adaintina, Obama, a Quiafosika, also young commercial loan. Wrong.
This year's event would take place in the central region.
The European Union will partner the government of Ghana to address unemployment in the country through what is called entrepreneurship for jobs and wealth creation. The Deputy Head of Mission of the EU in Ghana, Mr. Peter Smith Van Gelder, gave details at Kwadaso in the Ashanti region after inspecting a horticulture project funded by the EU at the Kwadaso Agriculture College.
The project, codenamed Archipelago Green Project, began in October 2020 under a partnership among the European Union, the Delft University of Technology in the Netherlands, and the Holland Green Technology, and is being implemented by the Kwadaso Agricultural College in the Ashanti region. The one-year project, valued at 500,000 euros, is being funded by the EU. It was meant to span a 12-month period, but had to be reconsidered as a result of the negative effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The horticulture project involves theoretical and hands-on training of trainees. The training embodies entrepreneurship intended to empower the beneficiary trainees with marketing and business skills. The trip by the project partners to the Kwadaso Agricultural College project site involved a briefing and interaction among the players on the progress of the project. The delegation also visited a weather station built for the college to enable students to test atmospheric and soil humidity, the amount of sunshine available, among other food production variables. They as well toured the demonstration site for the horticulture production for mostly exotic vegetables under irrigation. The project coordinator, Mr. Samuel Daba, shed more light on the focus of the Green Project for jobs and wealth.
All the indigenous and exotic vegetables that we have in Ghana, we are training them on. The period is 4 months. It's 4 months because they have to go through all the process from nursery to harvesting and to marketing.
The principal of the Kwadaso Agricultural College, Reverend Benjamin Asante, said the project had boosted the training capacity of the college in the area of entrepreneurship. The Deputy Head of Mission of the European Union in Ghana, Mr. Peter Schmidt Van Gelder, said the EU cherishes its partnership with the government of Ghana in creating jobs and wealth for the people. He explained that the Kwadaso Agriculture College was chosen for the project based on the good reputation and faith the partners have in it.
What are we doing? It's not only crops, but it's also the skills for business. So the technical skills for the agriculture part, but then you have your crops and how you bring them to the market. This is exactly what they're learning.
In other news, the police in Tamale have been compelled into a prisoner exchange to save the life of a man kidnapped on suspicion that he was an informant to the police. The Northern Regional Police Command says someone rang the police station and threatened to kidnap and kill the victim. The suspect is currently on the run. The development is said to be in connection with the impasse between the VRA NETCO, some residents of Tamale, and the police. Our Northern Regional Correspondent, Mutala Isa, in a phone interview said the police command has been cordoned off, allowing no entry. He said the workers of the VRA and NETCO feel insecure in their line of duty due to recent happenings. They are asking for protection, assurances from the police and the government.
What we are getting from the police is that they were compelled to exchange some relatives of the person with this victim, but they have not been able to arrest the suspect. He's on the run. So I spoke to Maxwell Kutuka, who is the public affairs manager, and he confirmed the story. He used the terms that it is true and it is false. He explained that it is indeed true that their workers say they are not going out there for field operations, including addressing power outages in communities for fear of their own safety. There's that general feeling that VRA staff are not safe for now within the metropolis based on what happened last week. So they are dialoguing with the workers to find an amicable solution to this. But they also want assurances from the police, from residents, from the chiefs of family that when their staff go out there, nobody will attack them before they go out.
The Director General in charge of Legal and Prosecution at the Ghana Police Service, COP Nathan Boachi, says in the sub-region, Ghana remains the safest country. He also says the Acting Inspector General of Police is leading a unified front with innovative strategies in the continuous efforts to deal with crime, especially the recent spate of armed robberies while keeping the peace in the country. COP Nathan Boachi was speaking at a ceremony to hand over a GISD refurbished and equipped ICT classrooms to the National Police Training School and the Police Academy at the Police Depot at Tesano in Accra.
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Refurbishing of the two ICT classrooms and laboratory by the German government falls under the program to build and strengthen the police structures in selected partner countries in Africa being implemented by GIZ.
The spirit of the training in this center will also be the focus on accountability and the respect for rule of law. And I learned today that this center will be key for the basic training of your police forces. So I think the importance of this center cannot be overestimated.
Aside the renovated computer classrooms, items including 56 computers, 6-in-1 workstations, licensed software, books and whiteboards were also handed over to the National Police Training School and the Police Academy. The Director General in charge of Legal and Prosecution of the Ghana Police Service, Commissioner of Police Nathan Boachi, said the GIZ support is part of efforts by the police administration to make necessary adjustments to the existing police training system to ensure that the officers are IT savvy in order to fight current crime trends such as internet fraud, electronic thefts, and other cyber crimes.
The vision of this administration to satisfy our overall objective of becoming world class is to improve the image of the police through competency, through high level of integrity, and through accountability to the public. And that's the vision of the new Inspector General of Police. And with a unified front, we are going to fight the robberies, and the country will remain as safe as it should be, and will remain on course to become international police service.
The program to build and strengthen the police structures in selected partner countries in Africa, known as the Police Program, collaborates with the Ghana Police Service in 3 thematic areas: community policing, accountability, and police program.
And to some news that will interest law students, because the poor pass rate of the 2021 Ghana School of Law entrance exams has sparked calls for a reform of legal education in the country. 790 out of 2,824 candidates passed the entrance examination. A private legal practitioner, lawyer Martin Pebu, in an earlier interview said it would be expedient to wait for the chief examiner's report to officially know why the mass failure. He debunked the assertion that 72% of students failed because the law school could not accommodate them.
Because we don't have enough lawyers in Ghana. And we need rule of law. Every time we keep saying we are a country governed by law, okay? We observe rule of law. If you don't have enough lawyers, then that itself impinges on the rule of law. So we need thousands of lawyers to join. And I'm happy that at least last year, the law school admitted 1,000 and it's 1,034 or so. Yeah. And this year, if 790 have passed, well, it's come down a bit, but it's not as bad compared to hitherto. You remember the year that's then 2 or 3 years ago, only 128 passed. So I think we've put the 128 behind us. And so now, if we did 1,034 last year, and this year we have 970 passed, I think at least it's at a massive improvement over the 128. Though I would have wished that more students had passed, more candidates had passed.
The President of the Association of Magistrates and Judges of Ghana, Mr. Justice Senyo Jamefe, says the non-payment and delays in payment of allowances of magistrates and judges is one of the association's biggest issue, and members feel disrespected and frustrated at how matters relating to their allowances are being handled. They say these allowances are a right and not a favor. Justice Jamefe says magistrates and judges for some years now have only been refunded for their fee. This and other issues came up at the Association of Magistrates and Judges of Ghana's 40th Annual General Meeting on Wednesday in Accra.
AMJJ President Mr. Justice Senyo Jamefe said although management has done quite a bit in the year under review, there remains a lot of problems for magistrates and judges. Justice Jamefe said allowances including book, robing and fuel have not been paid to them. Their concern is also about the security in and out of the courtrooms and the fact that there are still no CCTV cameras in the Supreme Court and the lower courts.
It is sad that judges in Ghana will have to fight every year for their legitimate allowances to be paid. It is sad, to say the least, that the leadership of the association has to personally trek to the Ministry of Finance, Controller and Accountant General Department, Auditor General Department to fight before allowances are paid, and it's true. We have to fall on friends at the seat of government to push for such allowances to be paid. As of September 2021, that's this month, we still have not received any fuel allowance for the year. Mr. Chairman, it is so frustrating, to say the least. Mr. Chairman, without mincing words, we are so frustrated. As usual, we use our own money from our taxed salaries to purchase fuel. This is later refunded after so many months and then taxed as if it was paid upfront. In effect, we pay double taxes for fuel, taxed salaries and ex-pump taxes.
The Court of Appeal judge also mentioned procuring appropriate furniture for the bench, the adjustment of salaries, problems with the accommodation of the relocated judges, and the procurement of vehicles for magistrates and judges of the lower courts. Speaking on the role of the judge in administering justice, the Chief Justice, Justice Enyimie Boa, said judges must uphold and exemplify judicial independence in both its individual and institutional aspects, as same a prerequisite to the rule of law and a fundamental guarantee of fair trial.
Judges in modern society are not potentates, but rather servants of the people in the highest and most honorable sense of that term. Our tasks are more defined, which is why we are expected to perform it well and efficiently, to be responsive and responsible. The modern-day judge will suffer if our society views our institution as a citadel of entrenched elitism, exclusivity, and privilege, ignorant to obvious changes and to the needs of the most vulnerable. Indeed, citizens will find it hard to accept the judiciary as the guarantor of law and human rights if judges themselves act in a discriminatory manner.
Goodwill messages from the Attorney General, the Judicial Service Association of Ghana, and the Ghana Bar Association talked about the aptness of the theme of the general meeting, as it has become necessary for the world to go digital in the face of the coronavirus. This is the 40th general meeting by the Association of Magistrates and Judges from across the country. The meeting had the theme, The Quandary of the Judge in the Digital World.
We'll return to some health news because the male trauma orthopedic ward D of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital has received a facelift. The 25-bed facility was refurbished with 744,000 Ghana cedis internally generated. The ward was shut down for over a year due to the level of deterioration unfit for patients. A report by Sarah Ofori.
The Trauma Orthopedic Department of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital has 10 wards with 200 beds demarcated into male, female and pediatric and VIP wards. It is run concurrently with the accident emergency wards and at full capacity. Yet, some of the wards are not suitable for patient management. A visit to some of the wards showed the deteriorating state of the 100-year-old facility. The washrooms, kitchenette, nurses and staff bay are not dignifying of patient care.
A couple of years ago, accident victims who were admitted to this ward with serious injuries as a result of the sordid state of the ward refused admission to the ward. For those who accepted to be admitted, refused to use the washroom.
Since he took office in 2016, Dr. Frederick Kwarteng has mobilized internally generated funds to renovate and refurbish some of the wards, the recent one being the male ward D. His efforts were highly applauded by the chief executive of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Opoku Wariampoma.
What you've done has fast-tracked the process. Yes, sir. Because you've also shown us that it can be done at a good quality and also at a decent cost. Yes. Because one of the things that we've been suffering from is cost overruns. Very small projects, and then when you look at the cost, it takes so much that sometimes even when you look at the figures that are presented, it becomes discouraging. But you've shown us that there's a way out, and you've shown by a sterling example. And so today, I want to celebrate you and your team.
The ward has a kitchenette for patients and staff, toilets and bathrooms for patients, and nurses' bay. The beds have orthopedic mattresses and other equipment such as patient monitors, suction devices, and wheelchairs. Dr. Kwarteng further assured the public that the refurbished wards won't attract any outrageous bills for patients. The Deputy Chief Nursing Officer, Mrs. Margaret Yeboah, soon after the inauguration, arranged a meeting between nurses to ensure that they rendered their services without discrimination and the facility maintained. Sarah Ofori, GBC News, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Accra.
Well, we'll take a break here. When we return, Maurice Ogbete will be here with business news.
It's GTP, the name behind authentic.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.